guys, we're doing a new segment we call Electric Car versus Mountain. And in this case, it's the brand new 2018 BMW i3S versus the Loveland Pass. Loveland Pass is basically at 12,000 feet above sea level. Here in the office, we're at about 5,200 feet. And we're gonna do 3 tests. First, can the car make it all the way to the top of the mountain on electric power alone? Second, is there any degradation in power when the range extender comes on? And third, how much energy are we gonna recoup on the way down the mountain? And are we gonna make it back to the studio? So here you go. We have full electric charge and full tank of fuel for the range extender gasoline engine, which basically acts as a generator, generating electricity to feed the electric motor. So here we go. The i3S has several drive modes: Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and Eco Pro Plus. So I will be using either Comfort or Sport mode. I'm going to be using the car as a normal car. I'm not going to be hypermiling. This is supposed to be a tough extreme test, and I'm going to be driving at traffic speeds. The computer is saying I have 132 miles of range. I have to go 77 miles, but I have to gain over 6,000 feet of elevation. So we'll see how it does. So here I am in town, passing through Boulder, Colorado, on my way to I-70 and actually on the way up to the top of Loveland Pass. There are a lot of numbers to go over with the BMW i3, and a lot of it can be confusing. First of all, there's a regular version of the car, the i3. That's the base model starts at $44,450. That's without the range extender gas motor that acts as a generator. The range extender system actually adds almost $4,000 to the price of the car. What I'm driving right now is actually the i3S, and the S stands for Sport. I'm getting onto I-70 in Golden. I'm using my adaptive cruise system so I can go exactly the speed limit. I went about 30 miles and I used about 27.5% of battery. I went up about 1,000 feet of elevation. So I started at 5,200 feet. Now I'm at 6,300 feet and I'm going all the way up to 12,000 feet. So right now, the major climb is still to come. I've lived in Colorado for 26 years about, and this view right here of the mountain range is amazing. I crested my first mountain, Floyd Hill, at about 7,800 feet above sea level. And this is my first test of regen braking because I have to come down just a little bit before I continue the climb. I'm at 55% battery. I went about almost 40 miles already. The computer says I have 62 miles remaining on the charge. So in theory, I should be able to make it to the top of the mountain, but I don't know because, once again, more energy is being used. Woo! So I reached the bottom of the Loveland Pass. I'm also at nearly 11,000 feet of elevation, 10,800. So I gained 5,600 feet already. going up to 12,000. I have 8 miles of range left. I have 4 miles left to go, climbing still. Let me show you the gauges. Temperature 23 degrees, what? Look at this, 8 miles left. I still have a full tank of range extender fuel. Let's go. What does the i3S give you? It has a sport tune suspension. The tires are still narrow, but they're a little bit wider in the i3S, about half an inch wider in the front. So they're still staggered size. So 5.5 inches wide in the front, 6 inches wide in the rear. 20-inch rims. The coefficient of drag is a little bit worse in the i3S. And that's typical for a sporty car. As soon as you modify the car a little bit more for performance, you lose a little bit of aerodynamic efficiency because you need drag to actually have the high-speed stability on the car. It weighs quite a lot for a small car, about just over 3,000 pounds, but it's still a very fun car. It hugs these corners beautifully. Feels like a go-kart. Oh yeah, you also get blue seat belts. Really sporty. I can see the summit. You can see it. Oh! It says the range extender motor just kicked on. No! 6% battery left. I didn't make it. 77 miles. Climbing over or about 6,800 feet of elevation. So far, no degradation of performance, even at 12,000 feet. Obviously, electric motors don't care about elevation. But I was thinking maybe the range extender, because it's not able to generate enough electricity, would actually decrease the performance of the car. It's not the case. How about that prototype right there? Is that interesting? You know, I think I know what this is. I saw it in New York. This is the brand new 2019 Cadillac XT4, which is their compact luxury crossover. Obviously, they're still testing here at over or about 12,000 feet of elevation. So it's really good to see that even though the car is already unveiled, it still has to do some testing, and Cadillac and GM are testing it here. Holy cow! Where is she going? The first two tests are complete. I almost made it here on a full charge. Second test, the range extender did not affect my performance. I still had all the power. I had about 6% of battery left, and the range extender was supplementing the electricity. Still have full performance. The final and third test is how much energy will I recoup on the way down the mountain. So let's see how it goes. The i3 and the i3S have relatively aggressive regenerative braking. So as soon as I lift off the accelerator, it brings the car down to a halt. So I will be using my cruise control system. I'm gonna set it. That'll make it a lot easier for me to come down the mountain and also still regenerate energy. Okay, I'm just making a pit stop here for lunch, and I'm at about 7,500 feet above sea level. So I just came down from about 12,000, so it's about 4,500 feet of elevation change downward. And let me show you, I went 28.7 miles and I still have the same state of charge. Gravity is a beautiful thing. So I basically was recharging the batteries. Didn't use almost any range extender on the way down for about 28 miles. So I think I'll make it back to the office. there you have it, guys. 3 tests today. Barely made it up on electric power alone. I used about half a mile of fuel at the end. On the way down, I went about 29 miles without using any fuel or electric range. It was all gravity feeding the electricity to the motor. Finally, I got all the way back after 150 miles plus to the office. So I think it was a success. I think in this case, the BMW i3S won versus the Mountain. Go back to tflcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews. And of course, lots more versus videos.